What's up, guys? I'm just waiting for Instagram to allow me to go live. Give me a second. I do have some plays that I'm going to show you. I do like it's up like 2 to 3 teams. Let me walk through it real quick. But I do like what's up with my Wi-Fi? Can you guys hear me? Anybody here? Can you hear me? All right, here we go. So we've had a very good run so far. The July 1st was a perfect day. It was a 5-0 day. Yes, the July 2nd, it was a 5-2 day, and then the 3rd was a slight loss, and then the 4th, actually, sorry. So July 1st was a sweep, 5-0 day. 2nd was a slight loss. The 3rd was a 5-2 day, and then yesterday was a 7-2 day. So basically, very shortly, in the last 4 days, it's been a 17-4 run. Not counting that one day where it was like a break-even day, but 17-4 run in the last 4 days has been great. So thanks, guys. Let me get right into it. I sorted through about 5 games, I believe, and I do like really. I think it's 2 or 3 of them. Let me make sure. I don't want to misstate anything. So I do have 2. Let's see. Let me just confirm. I do have 1, 2, 3, and one questionable one. So the one questionable one, it's starting to seem more and more like every time I say maybe you should stay away, and then it doesn't hit. So I'm very high risk tolerant. So that's something you have to be very cautious of, because I do tend to take bigger risks. So when I say be careful, it's for a reason. So anyways, that's just, like I said, 17-4 day run, or 17-4 day month so far. Then it makes sense. 17-4 month so far. We're on a great streak, man. Let me get started. I'm starting to just kind of, give me a second. Let me just get started here, guys. So yesterday we had, what was this? A 7-2 day. Let me share my screen here. All right. So here we go, guys. 7-2 day, right? So I gave away this one for free. It was the Braves at a +1.5, and they ended up losing the game, but they still covered that spread. So that hit. Then I had the Blue Jays. They ended up coming in at the bottom of the 10th. They ended up winning the game. I didn't watch the game, but I know they won. They went into extra innings, so that was a close one. +1.5. So that hit. I gave that away for free. Then I had Michael Garcia to get a hit. That he hit right in the 4th inning. These guys went straight up. Then we had an under RBI play with Yandy Diaz. Yandy Diaz has been amazing. Xavier Edwards, that dude hit. Then this guy, Junior Caminero, that dude got 2 hits. We just needed him to get 1 hit. And then Brandon Lowe, he got a hit. So you can see it was a 7-2 day. The ones that didn't win were the Braves money line and a batter. I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, 7-2 days, guys. Did I miss the picks yesterday? I don't know. What's up, man? Good morning. So, all right, guys. So I do have so how do we do this? The way we do this is basically we're with a lot of research, and we have a lot of robots, and we have a lot of I have a person, it's a team, and one of the team members, he actually sorts through all the robots and scrapers and all this stuff, and then he filters it out into something called a sharp edge. So if you haven't done so, this is your first time here, go to the link in the description and go to the bottom, or towards the bottom. It's the tools that we use under the sharp edge. So what I'm going to talk about is this is what it looks like. So I'm going to talk about the games. It's basically a simple breakdown, or not even simple. It's a very deep analysis of each game, of the ones that we like. So we don't. What I learned the hard way was I don't look deeply into every game. So there's certain criterias that I look at, and if it meets those certain criterias, then I look deeper. So, for example, I don't even know how many games are today. Things like 16 games or whatever it is. Whatever the amount of games is today, I broke that down and filtered it to about 5 games. And then from those 5 games, I only chose like 3. And then there's one questionable one. So like I said, I still took the questionable one, but you might want to stay away from this stuff. If I'm saying, hey, be careful, more than likely it's not going to win. So let me just break it down and show you what I'm looking at. So the first one here is the Angels versus the Blue Jays. And like I said, the Blue Jays did win, but they barely won. And they only won by 1 in extra innings yesterday, okay? So I do like the Blue Jays, but you got to be careful with this one. And I'll tell you why. So I did take it, like I said, because I'm a high risk tolerance. But you might want to be careful with this one. So anyways, the line moved from a 166 to a 173. So it is going in their favor by 8 cents as a favorite. Okay, so let me bring this down a little bit more. All right, so they are getting a lot of the money, and then their line is still shifting. So that's a good sign. It's the correlation between the sharp money and the public money, and the line is still shifting. That's a good sign. 3 times saying hit the like button. This dude's good. Dodgers no show yesterday. I don't know what that means. I didn't go with the Dodgers, did I? I don't think so. What's up, man? Good morning. Thanks for being here, guys. I know it's I'm a little tired just from walking around and doing all this stuff with the kids and everything yesterday. So I appreciate you guys being here. So anyways, let's get into it. Clear market advantage towards the Blue Jays. 18% of the bets, 16% of the money. Let me go the other way. Blue Jays, 82% of the bets, 84% of the money. So that's a great difference for the Blue Jays. Heavy public action is coming in on the Blue Jays, both with the tickets and with the money. They have a much better record right here. Well, I want to say much better, but they are better record. This is a big one. The Angels only covered the spread 4 of the last 6 games. Compare that to the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are covering 7 of the last 3. Here's where the questionable thing happens, okay? Scherzer, I did some deeper research on this guy because I was like, this dude, Max Scherzer, I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, Scherzer. But basically, this dude, when I saw 0-0, I'm like, there must be a mistake here because why is this guy only 0-0 with a 4.85 ERA? I thought this guy was one of their starters. So basically what happened is that he got injured, and the injury said that he had a sore thumb on his throwing arm. So then they actually threw him back to the AAA, and it was still hurting. So they put him on a 15-day injury thing. So anyways, he's coming back off of injury, and today is his first day back. So that's where the questionable thing happens. But I'm going to tell you why I'm still taking them. I will say be cautious with this, but I'm still taking them for these reasons. Let me explain. So his ERA is 4.85. He's coming off of injury, so they must think that he's doing better. This guy is actually not that good. He's a 5.44 ERA with 8 losses. Angels are not that good to begin with. Now, the Blue Jays bullpen is much better. That's where the big thing starts happening, where the shift is happening. So the line is good for the Blue Jays. The Dodgers, I'm sorry, what the hell am I talking about the Dodgers? The bullpen is better. The starter is somewhat questionable, but then you start getting into the batting and all that stuff, and it starts making sense. The line move, all that starts making sense. So it says here there's a clear pitching advantage across starting, but it's not. It's only the relievers, just for the reasons I said because of the injury. All right, now we look at the offensive metrics. You can see this looks very crazy right here, where it's a bunch of red right here. Compare that to the Blue Jays, where it's actually a lot better. So the rank for the Blue Jays is 6th on OPS, meaning they get on base a lot more. And the Angels are not that bad at 13, but the Blue Jays still have a better OPS. So the win probability for the Blue Jays is 72%, which is a lot better. The win probability for today's game, they're supposed to win with a 72% chance to win. Now, you add that to the fact, like I said, the line move, the better batting, the OPS, and the only questionable thing, and the bullpen. So it's like if they can get over this Max Scherzer guy, we should be good. Now, this is a decent thing too, where they're supposed to bat in the 9th. It says no. What that means is that they're not even, once the home team is winning, they don't even get to bat in the 9th. So that's what the odds are for 135, meaning they're kind of somewhat favorite not to bat in the 9th. All right, let's look at the hits. Over-unders. So the under, so there's another little questionable thing. The over for the Angels is favored on the over 8.5. However, the Blue Jays are actually 9.5. So that means that's an extra hit. So they are favored to go on the under, but it's actually an extra 2 hits. So I'm not going to get into those details, but basically it's saying that even the Blue Jays are favored to get more hits. Also, the projections overall, everything is matching towards the Blue Jays. So, like I said, I've already said it several times. The only questionable thing, it was looking very, very, very strong, but then I saw that the Max Scherzer injury. So you got to be careful with that. Now let's look at the Rays. I'm telling you straight up, I am taking the Blue Jays on the money line. It's a little bit more expensive, and the only other reason I took that is because the odds that I was able to get. So the odds are extremely expensive. They're like at minus 190, but I was able to get it like at 175 or something like that. So that's the other reason I took it, because I was able to find a lot of value. All right, so here we go. The Rays versus the Twins. Let's see what happens here. All right, Rays versus Twins. The Rays are 120. It went slightly up to 126. You can see the money is not that heavy as compared to the other game. 69% of the bets, 65% of the money. The difference is coming in on the Twins side, but that doesn't make a difference because the line is still shifting slightly towards the Rays. Now, overall, the head-to-head trends, they do dominate here. 8-2 overall, but then just against anybody, they're pretty even. They're pretty standard. So it does say that it does trend towards the under for both teams. So what this means is that they have great pitching usually. Okay, so here's another little questionable thing. They're not showing the pitcher yet for the Twins. So we have to just kind of base it on this guy here, Bradley. So you might want to also wait to see who's the pitcher for the Twins. Overall, 4.79 ERA. He's pretty decent. He's not great, but he's decent. 5 wins, 6 losses. Here's where the big difference starts coming in. Great batting over here. The Rays have been on fire. They're ranked 8th in OPS, and then you compare that to on-base percentage for the Twins. You can just see the graph. The graph is extremely much hotter, much better for the Rays compared to the Twins. OPS, again, for the Twins is 20th. Compare that to the 8th for the Rays. Win probability is a lot shorter than the other game. It's 55% chance for the Rays to win. However, the Twins to bat in the 9th is heavily favored. Okay, what this means, like I said, I say this every game. Basically, the home team, if you know anything about baseball, the home team, if they bat in the 9th, that means that they're losing the game. Because if they were winning the game, they would not bat in the 9th. So what this is saying is that the Twins to bat, it's yes, and it's a heavy favorite. So that means that the books believe that the Twins will be batting in the 9th, meaning they'll be losing the game, and it's heavily favored. Okay. Now, the under, it does say that the Twins are favored to go on the under 9.5 hits. Compare that to the Rays to go over 9.5 hits. So more hits, better batting. The pitcher, I can't confirm it yet, but I'm still going with it. There's a lot of indications they should still win because of the bullpen, the hitting, and all the trends and all that stuff. So the Rays, here's another heavy trend. Like I just said, they've been very, very hot lately. 15-5, 75% chance in their last 20 games as a favorite. And the projections are 5.8 versus a 4.8. So the Rays, I'm going with them straight up on the money line. Let me know what questions you have, guys. I do have, I believe, 2 other games to go through, but I just gave you 2 of them. The Blue Jays, you got to be careful with. I'm definitely going with the Rays. I do like the Rays. And then I'm going to go through 3 more games, but 2, one of them I'm skipping. And I'll tell you why I'm skipping it, but I just left it in here so you can see. And then if you guys are interested in any other teams, let me know. I'm actually going to go through the breakdown of all the other stuff that I've done as far as the research goes. So anyways, Blue Jays, a little bit questionable. Rays, I'm going with them. Sands pitcher for the Twins. Okay, so Sands is the pitcher for the Twins. Cool. I already put it in. I'm not going to go and try to do all the other research for that one pitcher, but you guys can do that. All right, here we go. The Cardinals versus the Cubs. Cardinals versus Cubs. This is the biggest line move on the board today. The Cubs are heavily favored, or not heavily, but the line shifted dramatically. So it went from a 120 to a 146. That's a 26 cent move. That's a big move for any team. And for today, it's the Cubs, 120 to 146, 75% of the money, 65%. Sorry, 75% of the bets, 65% of the money. Cubs do have a much better record. Here's a big one too. The Cardinals are 3-7 against the run line, meaning they're not covering spreads. You compare that to the Cubs covering spreads at a break-even pace. And then this is the other little questionable thing with the Cubs. The pitching is not confirmed here, or it's confirmed, but it's not great, I should say. So it doesn't show the ERA right there. Compare that to Libertone. I didn't get deeper. There's other things you can do, like go deeply into how this guy performs specifically, which I didn't do. I just like when I see the line move and then what the other stuff that I'm going to show you. So, for example, this dude is actually pretty decent, Libertone here. But again, the Cardinals don't cover spreads. They've only covered the spread 3 of the last 10 games. All right, now we look at the hits. The Cubs are actually number 1. They're tied for number 1. There's other teams on the number 1 list, but in the last 7 games, the Cubs are number 1 for OPS, meaning on-base percentage. Compare that to the Cardinals. Cardinals are 20th. So it's a very elite team for batting versus a very poor team for batting. So even though these dudes have a decent pitcher and these guys are a little bit questionable, the batting is much harder on the Cubs. Much better on the Cubs. So here's the other little questionable thing with the Cubs to bat in the 9th. It says yes. So I would have liked to see that it said no as a favorite, but it's not heavily favored. I'm not going to get into all those details again. I think I've explained that enough. Now, here's the other thing about the hits. The line is actually at a 10.5 for the Cubs, and it's at a 9.5 for the Cardinals. So even though it's favored to go on the over for the Cardinals right here, it's less hits. So this is favored to go on the under for the Cubs, but it's more hits. So basically, they're saying they're not going to get 11 hits compared to the Cardinals. They're saying they are going to get 10 hits. I hope that makes sense. The projections are very similar. And then the big one here is also the Cardinals are 20% on the road. So I'm taking the Cubs on the money line as well. All right. So now sometimes, like I've said this many times, sometimes you have to just skip a game. So there was a lot of indications that were coming up for the Mariners, and they actually came up to my radar on a different level than I normally do. So I was already kind of questionable on it. So you can see they did shift the line by 17 cents. That's the reason they popped up on my radar. Plus, they had a decent head-to-head trends and stuff like that. But I'll tell you why I'm skipping them. Let me answer this question real quick. Any over-under runs information on the Cubs and the Cards? Let me see. Let me see. I'm not going to get off topic here, but let me see. Let me just jump over and try to see what the line is doing, and that's all. That's all the information I can give you. The other thing is that I would say the pitching is a little bit questionable, just like I mentioned for the Cubs. It's very heavily. It's super high. It's up on 10.5 runs, and the line is actually shifting up. So it's looking like a heavily over game. A lot of the money and all the line is shifting on the over. That's what I can tell you for the Cubs. All right, let's get back to this. All right, let's get back to this. So Pirates and Mariners, the line is shifting dramatically for the Mariners. 17 cents is a lot. Plus, they have a lot. The bets and the money and everything is in their favor. They also have a better record. However, the Pirates are 3-7, and then this is where the shit starts. You can see it's 3-7 right here, last 10 games. They do have who is this, Castillo, which is decent, but Burrows is actually pretty decent as well. and then you start going into the OPS, they're not good at all. It says Mariners are ranked 1, but I don't trust that. I don't trust it. Plus the pitching here, Castillo, he's decent, but he's not. I mean, he's decent actually. I don't know. I forgot what I saw that I didn't like. Let me try to figure it out. There was something I saw that I did not like at all. So it doesn't give me a clear indication here. I mean, Mariners looking good actually. Mariners are actually looking good. 75% of the last 16 games they've been hitting 12-4 out of the last 16 games as a favorite. They are projected to win. Actually, you know what? The only thing that stood out was this 3-7 record. Now that I see it, let me see. This Mariners 3-7 of the last 10, but that's only for covering spreads. That doesn't mean that they've lost. I might take this actually. Let me see. Now let me try to confirm this. Give me a second. 161 to 170. This is the game I was going to skip, and the reason I was going to skip it was because they're 3-7 in the last 10, but that's for covering spreads, not for win or losing. Castillo is actually decent. Barrels is not heavy, so they do have better pitching. They also have much better batting. Let me confirm on the OPS. Give me a second. MLB OPS rankings. Let's take a look. So I'm going to confirm something on the batting just to make sure. Let's take a look. What the hell? All right. Sorry for this detour, guys, but it's important. What the hell's going on here? All right, it's acting dumb. I don't know. I can't confirm it. So I'm going to confirm it after I get offline. Something's happening here where it's not allowing me to load up that page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to confirm the Mariners, but that's looking actually very good. So I'm actually liking the Mariners again. The only thing I'm going to confirm here is if their OPS ranked 1 and tied with the Cubs, I'm going to go with this because you're comparing the 20th ranked team versus the first ranked team. Everything else is looking good, especially this as a favorites, this projection, everything. So let me write this down for myself. Confirm the OPS for Mariners. If they are ranked 1, go with it. Okay, so that's what I'll do. All right, now the next game, which is the last game, is the Tigers. So the last game I have right here, guys, for you is the Tigers. Before I get into that real quick, though, I do want to say if you want to send me a text, if you want this sort of information, you want the VIP picks, I'm doing a 90% off coupon, and it's only for the next, or actually I'm going to do three more people, and then that's it. It's a 90% off for the rest of the season. And let me show you something real quick. You could text me at this number, 630-447-9504. Because I don't have that linked anywhere. So I can send you the direct link for a 90% off coupon. Let me show you what somebody that just signed up yesterday or 2 days ago, let me show you what they said. I blurred out their number, obviously, but it says the VIP picks are on fire. I don't like to show like the Discord stuff because it shows their usernames and stuff like that. But there's some people in there making a lot of money. They're doing actually more money than I am. But they're also risking a lot more, and they're throwing a lot more stuff on there. So I always go based on my unit size and stuff like that. But there's people in our group that are making decent money. So what's up? All right, let's keep going. But yeah, if you guys want the rest of the season for baseball, it's been on fire. Like I said, we've been on a 17-4 run just in July alone. So it's been very good, and we're only getting better. So let's keep going. All right. The last game I have for you guys, I do have 6 batter props already inside the VIP. So if you want to check us out for VIP, go to the link in the description and click on either 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. I might get to the point where I'm going to offer like a 7-day free trial for the month, but I'm not quite there yet. Here we go, man. Yeah, what's up? All right, Tigers versus Guardians is the last one I'm going to break down here. And I do have 6 batter props already in the VIP for this morning. All right, so we got the Tigers. The line is stuck. It's actually shifting very slightly on the other way. It started at a 126. Now it's at a 125. The percentage of the bets is 83%, 88% of the money. So the green arrow is still towards the Tigers, even though the line is shifting slightly the other way. So let's keep going here. They do have a better record. The Tigers do. Somewhat decent overall. I would say tied on the head-to-head trends. Casey Mize is actually very, very good, but so is Logan Allen. So these guys, you might want to look at the under. Let me make sure on something, because my business partner reached out to me and he said, I'm looking on the under. Let me see if that's the one he was looking at. Let me see. I want to make sure. No, it wasn't this game. The Twins? No. Logan Webb. Yep. No, this ain't even him. This is Logan Allen. Anyways, I was trying to confirm if he was looking at this under for this game, and it doesn't look like he was. But just from the quick looks of it, this would be for me right away. I would start looking on the under, because these are two great pitchers here. 8-2 record compared to a 5-6 record. ERAs are decent. You can see Casey Mize is one of the top pitchers. He's one of their ace pitchers for sure. Casey Mize, excellent condition. ERA for Logan Allen is 4.25. And then they have great pitching. So not only do they have great pitching, they have the great bullpen. So starters and bullpen are great for pitching for this game. Now let's look at the OPS. Why does this keep saying ranked first? I have to confirm this, man. This is starting to worry me a little bit, because now it's saying the Tigers are ranked 1, the Cubs are ranked 1, and the other one was ranked. The Mariners were ranked 1. So it does happen. I'm not saying it's not, but I have to confirm these OPS records. Overall, decent, much better hitting. Over here is a elite 0.885 compared to ranked 18th. So like I said, I'm going to confirm those numbers, but I believe they are correct, because look, you start looking at this other stuff, Guardians to bat in the 9th. It says yes. So it's a heavily favored that they are going to bat in the 9th, which is saying they're going to win the game. So they're going to have to bat in the 9th to try to tie it or win. Let's see. Guardians are projected to go over 8.5, but then the Tigers are projected to go over 9.5 hits. These are for the hits. Guardians are horrible at home. They've lost five in a row at home. So look at the projections are slightly favored over to the Tigers. So I did take the Tigers. I'm going to take the Mariners if OPS matches. I have to go confirm that. I am taking the Cubs. And then I did take the Rays. And then the Blue Jays, you have to be careful with this one, because what the hell did I say? It was the starting pitcher. This guy, he just came off of injury. So if the Blue Jays can hold off the first, 3 innings, 4 innings, however amount of innings this guy plays, if they can somehow hold on and score a couple of runs or whatever, we should be good on this one. Plus, I was able to get very good odds on the Blue Jays. That's the reason I took them. Let me know if you have questions, guys. We have about 20 people on YouTube, about 50 on Twitter. So let me know if you have questions. I'm going to run through. The last thing I'll do here is I'm going to run through what I sorted through this morning. I'm not going to show the screen here because I have a lot of other information. But basically, let me get into this real quick. So the Cubs versus the Cardinals, yeah, it does say under analysis, actually, and the line is going on the opposite way. So somebody asked me about the Cubs on the under. It's saying that they should go under, but then all the line and everything is going on the over. So there's a lot of stuff like that. That they do have great pitching, so the under is decent, but I'm staying away from that. There's too many contradictions. I already talked about the Blue Jays. Here's the Padres game. Let's look at the Padres. Give me a second. So the Padres. All right. So for the Padres, let's take a look. They do have a dominant head-to-head trend. They've won 9 of the last 10. They have superior pitching. With this guy, Kolek, 3.73. But then Patrick Corbin is actually somewhat decent. The Rangers. So the Rangers, let me make sure on this. Yeah, so the Rangers here, they're very poor as an underdog. So they've only won 13 games when they started as an underdog. I don't have all the other reasoning behind why I skipped the Padres, but from what I'm seeing is that the Padres did come up as a decent lean to look at. The Rays I already talked about, the Cubs I already talked about, the Blue Jays I already talked about, the Mariners I already talked about, and then the big thing with the Phillies is the Phillies have an exceptional record of 18-3 when they started as a favorite. So that's a big thing. And what else? That's about it. So there's telling me some conflicting trends with the Tigers, Guardians. I already talked about the other teams that came up. I'm just letting you know the teams that came up were the Red Sox and so let me just tell you what came up. Let's do it this way. So the ones that came up for me were the Tigers, which I already talked about, which I'm going with. The Red Sox, it's saying the Red Sox have a decent OPS with some decent pitching. And it is telling me there's conflicts there. So that's the reason I stayed away. Now we look at the Astros, and it's saying what the hell is this? Solid play. Sorry guys, I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. Actually, I'm not gonna keep talking about it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at what came up for me, and I'm gonna start writing notes on why I skipped it. But I'll at least tell you what came up as a decent look or a decent lean, and why I skipped it. So if you guys want to go with that information, whatever you want to do, but I will start capturing like why I'm skipping certain teams or why they came up and how I'm skipping them and things like that. I don't have it prepared here, but like I said, Blue Jays came up, Padres came up, Rays came up, the Cubs came up, the Mariners, and the Phillies. Those are the teams that came up. And then I ran some other data, and then the Tigers came up, the Astros came up, the Red Sox came up. And then I said, all right, these are all contradictions and stuff like that. So I already gave you all the information I have for today. I do have some 6 batters that I already shared as well. You want to be careful with the Blue Jays for the reasons I stated. And then let me go right back and just tell you who I went with. So I went with the Rays money line. I took the Cubs money line. I took the Tigers money line, and I took the Blue Jays. But like I said, be careful with the Blue Jays. All right, guys, let's have another great day, man. We've been on a massive run. Again, if you want the season pass for the rest of the season, it's 90% off. It's only for the next 3 people, and it's going to go right back to the normal price. 90% off the rest of the season pass. Make sure you text me at the 630. 447-9504. All right, guys, let's have a great day. Thank you so much.